Good morning, guys. So, let's go shopping. Who wants to go shopping with me? Let's go to IKEA. What's the first thing that you think about when you hear IKEA? So, in today's talk, I'm going to explain the IKEA effect. So, IKEA is a furniture store, but the store came out when I was in my late teens, early 20s. So I didn't have my own place at the time. So I wasn't worried about buying furniture. However, my mother, it was something new. It was something shiny. I got to get there. And when she did, she finally got there. She found out that this was going to be a project. It wasn't her just going and buying the furniture and just placing it in her home. She had to go, and when she got it home, she was going to have to put it together or help put it together. So it was partially created, but she had to finish it. And for the prices that they had, my mom was not impressed, and she was not about bringing furniture home to put it together herself. But the IKEA effect is defined as a cognitive bias in which the consumer places a disproportionate amount of value or disproportionately high value on products that they partially create. So, of course, the name is from the store, the IKEA effect. So, when I see IKEA, the first thing that I think of is putting stuff together, instructions, pieces everywhere, and that's because of how their store and their products are structured. So I found, after doing a little research, that the IKEA effect has pretty much been around for all our life. Everybody has these moments where they can consider it the IKEA effect. So when I was young and my mom and dad were looking for furniture, they were looking for a crib for my soon-to-be sister, and they didn't want to buy, as a matter of fact, it wasn't even a crib, it was a bassinet. And they didn't want to buy, I guess, the ones that they saw in the store. But what my father did, he went and he decided that he was going to make it himself. This was his baby girl, and he wanted her to, and it was my stepmom's first child. So they wanted it to be special. And my dad went and bought timber. He got the tools, he got all of the equipment that he was going to need, and he made a bassinet. It was beautiful. He sawed it, he sanded it, he nailed it together, and then he varnished it. My mom helped varnish it, and it was made of real wood. It was sturdy, and it was for his baby girl. And that, for him, he took pride in it. So for me, the definition of the IKEA effect is pride. It's pride in doing something for yourself, for having a hand in creating something. So another example of the IKEA effect would be like cooking, where you make something from scratch or you make it from the box. And one of my references, they used how in the 50s women were making cakes from scratch, and then the box cake came out. But that was the pre-made box cake, where all they had to do was put it together. But it wasn't anything really to it. So because it wasn't well received, and it made the women feel like they weren't really doing anything, they added that you add an egg to it. So now, like when you look at box cakes, you have to add an egg, some vegetable oil or butter, and water. And then once you mix it, you can stick it in the oven and you bake the cake. So although they provided the main ingredient, you have to add to it, and then you made the cake. Me myself, I bake cakes from scratch and I bake box cakes. Depends on how much time I have. But when I bake my rum pound cake, I'm that girl. And everybody loves it. And I feel good because I made it. So another example I had was like cleaning your house. When you clean your home, when I was before I had my son, I had a car accident, and I had always, as a single woman, always taken pride in cleaning my house. My house was always clean. But when I had my son, or when I was pregnant with my son, it became more difficult. I was in a lot of pain, and I cried because I couldn't do it myself. And luckily I had great neighbors who came and helped me out. Another example of the IKEA effect that you could probably relate to is Build-A-Bear. For children, when the parents take the children to Build-A-Bear, it is so that they can build their teddy bear or a character, because they had like the Black Panther. They always have different characters also now. But they get to build it themselves. They pick the character they want, they get to stuff it, they get to pick an outfit for it, and they get to name it, and it comes with a birth certificate and everything, and it's theirs. So all I'm saying is that, you know, there is pride. There is pride in making things with your own hands, with making things yourself. I'm sure that construction workers and people that build houses, they take great pride in the houses that they build. But this is, but some of them come parts, you know, all of the parts, they don't make the parts, they put the parts together. So it is partially made by them. And with that comes a lot of pride. And that is what the IKEA effect is. The IKEA effect is pride. It is taking pride in what you do, and that will never go away. Thanks for listening.